morning, good morning. I think you were actually first on, Jen. Oh, did I? Oh, I ran this and then I emptied it. Okay, good on me. Wait, did I run this? I did. And I did not empty it. Silly mommy. I know, that never happens. Hi, Mom. Grandma's here, sweet girl. Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Just making my standard coffee, you know, like we do. You have a flu while Memory's pregnant. No, wait. Lauren, I didn't know you were pregnant. Oh my gosh, congratulations. That's fantastic news. I'm sorry that you have the flu, but I'm so thrilled for you. I love saying good morning when it's 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. TikTok was banned when I found out. Oh, September baby, that's so lovely. I have two very good friends who are September babies. They are lovely people, so hopefully your baby will follow in their footsteps of being absolutely lovely. Are you planning to find out if it's a boy or a girl? You obviously don't have to tell us, and it's very early. Sickness has been real. Don't I know it? Don't I know it, Lauren? If you need any like tips or tricks or anything, Lauren, I literally just did this, so feel free to ask because it's very fresh in my mind. So, hey Brittany, long time no see in book club. How are you? Hey Mary. Yeah, Lauren, feel free to message me anytime, you know, on like Instagram or email me or wherever you feel like it. If you want to chit chat. I'm gonna wait until we kind of at a doctor, so I guess it's my niece. Yeah, sometimes they do it a little before. Pretty good, Brittany, pretty good. It is a lot of snow. It's a lot of snow. Want to do the blood test and get online with her, we'd have to confirm it anyway. Yeah, we did do that, Lauren. I will tell you. And if you want, I always get coupons for it in my email because we use it. Hey, Catherine. So I can always pass on a coupon to you. I've passed them on to a lot of friends. They send them to me like every week. The only reason I don't unsubscribe is because I have so many friends and everything who are pregnant that I just keep passing the coupons on to everybody else. Because why not, right? But if you want, I can pass one on to you if you email me next time I get one. It was correct for us. I've heard that the only times it's generally incorrect is if it's a second baby and your first baby was a boy, then it can be incorrect because the boy DNA can like linger in your womb or whatever. But I didn't have any babies yet, and you know, it's a girl, so we knew it was right. Sure, of course, Lauren, I totally understand that. We were just dying. We couldn't wait. I can't believe your baby's sleeping through that noise. Oh yeah, no, during the daytime, we don't curb noise for her. We only make it quiet for her at night so that she knows the difference between day and night. During the day, we use everything normal volume. But then at nighttime, we turn all the lights off and we get real quiet so like we know the difference, you know. I mean, Lauren, it wasn't that expensive. I think we had a deal on it. It was like $50 or something. I can send you the coupon and you can just look at it if you want. You don't have to use it. It doesn't hurt me if you don't use it. I don't get anything from it. I just pass them on to my friends for their benefit, you know? It's up to you. But if you email me, I'll send you the next one I get because all my friends who are currently pregnant have already found out or are way too early. Like I have a friend who just found out last week. She's pregnant way too early for her. So I'll give her the next one, you know? But any that come this week will expire before she needs them anyway. I have so many friends who are pregnant right now, you guys. It's like everybody. Yeah, will you email me, Lauren? Because that way when the email comes to me, I can forward it to your email, because I'll have to forward you the email from them for you to click on the link. And I want to make sure I have your email correctly. So just email me, and then I'll have a way to contact you that way when I get the next one. They send them to me like every week. I don't know when the next one's going to come. Yeah, I don't change my email like ever. I don't have a coupon for it right now, but they literally send them every week. So, you know. Well, no, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying, Liz. You know what I mean. Thank you, Flock. Yes, neither Liz nor Becca are pregnant. Although, if Becca had unlimited funds, she would take more babies any day. I don't think she's here, but I feel comfortable saying that. That's the difference between Liz and Becca. Becca would do it again if she had unlimited funds. Liz would not. I don't know, if I had unlimited funds, we might have one more. If we had unlimited funds, but we don't. You would do it again if you had, yeah, that's what we were saying, Mary. Oops. Oh, I just dropped something in the sink, whatever. Hey, Naisa. Yeah, I hated how I felt pregnant. I couldn't do it again. I was medium pregnant, but I love this so much more than being pregnant. I would take newborn over pregnant any day. I've already lost 20 pounds. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's hard. I lost weight the first trimester also, Lauren. And then I didn't actually gain it. I didn't like really start gaining anything significant until third trimester because of not being able to eat normally because I was always nauseous. So I get it. I get people update dogs at work and 3 people update. Oh no, that's not good, Jen. Were you talking about new package mail to me or birthday roll for Slime? I think I was talking about the birthday roll for Slime. I don't think I've mailed anything since the baby was born for you, Naisa. You got your birthday one, right? Oh, that's right, because your charm broke. I owe you a new charm. I remember that now. I do remember. I remember. See, look, my brain is slowly coming back to life. Did you guys see that? I remembered something. Can you believe it? I remembered that many details from over 3 weeks ago. Come on, that's pretty good. You gotta give me a little bit of credit for that. Oh, I almost dropped my coffee. I shouldn't ask for too much credit, huh? Yikes. Don't ask for credit and then drop your coffee. Bad life choices, Sasha. The only thing that worries me, as soon as I go back to work, I'll be caring for flu patients. Yeah, that is an issue. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put this on so I won't be able to see any comments for 1 second. Yes, honey. Yes, I know. Random questions, still need more Daiso clay. Let me go through the colors later today, Jen, and I will let you know, because there are some colors like pink, I think I have like none of. Green, I would love, because St. Patrick's Day, and I don't think I have any green. We're talking about something else, so disregard the Patreon. Okay, yeah, Lauren, that is, I know. You're gonna have, I bet your whole body is in ache when you hear her cooing because you're pregnant, huh? You know what, I just don't know what I would do in your situation, Lauren. I really don't. I don't know what I would do. Can the baby wave to me? We can try, Mom. Here, see? Hi, Grandma. Say hi, Grandma. Did you say hi to your grandma? You wanna wave to your grandma? She's very asleep. She's very asleep. You wanna wave to Grandma? Say hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandma. Say I love you, Grandma. I love you. She does love you. She just needs to sleep, and Mommy needs to reach her coffee. Oh yeah, we did it. We got to the coffee, you guys. It just took a little stretch. Ah, nectar of the gods. You want to know something crazy? Mom, if you're still here, I had a phone conversation with my brother this morning. My brother called me. Yeah, that never happens. It was nice. Phone call with my brother. I mean, I talk to my sister like 17 times a day at minimum, so that's not anything, you know. Oh, I'll tell you later. That's not polite for me to talk about his stuff publicly when we're on live, but I'm just letting you know that I did talk. I know she's got good hair, right? She's got good hair. She pretty much has almost the exact same hair I had when I was little. I've looked at pictures of me at like a month or two old, and it's pretty similar to her hair. So she got mommy hair. You got your mommy's hair? All right, let's put that coffee down. Her birthday is January 25th. She was a January baby, even though we thought she was going to be a February baby. We really did. We fully believed that she was going to be a February baby, and she said, no thank you. No thank you, February. She said, too many February birthdays in our family. I blinked and mine's already 8 months. Oh my gosh. But 8 months is a fun age, right, Ash? 5 days and she's going to be a month old. I know, isn't that crazy? I truly feel like I'm going to have a girl, and my husband's starting to feel like it's a girl too. We both felt that way too. She did not want to be like everyone else. That's right, Liz. Much to Aunt Becca and Liv's chagrins. Yes, she is an Aquarius, just like her dad. That's right. But the only other January birthday in our whole family is Aunt Rowan, huh? Yeah. Yeah, they're super cute. You know what's funny, Ash? I feel like my nephew was 8 months just like a second ago, but he's actually going to be 2 in May. And yesterday we were FaceTiming with him and my baby and my niece, and he was like, Sasha, look at my shoes, and like picking his foot up to show it in the camera, and I was just cracking up. It's such a fun age. She wanted to be born the same month as Nick Carter. Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. That's funny, Mina. He's going to be 2 in May. Can you believe that, Liz? It feels like just a blink ago he was born, right? Can you even believe that? Baby watched 2023, and now it's 2025. But he really wanted me to see his shoes. Yeah, Baby Watch 1.0, that's right. And now he's almost 2, you know? I missed so much book club with the doctor's appointment for my husband. He's now, oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad that he's home. I know, it is funny. He's very into shoes right now. Mary, is everything okay now that he's home? 2-year-olds, they find a thing to be into. And my niece, who's 4.5 and very well spoken, yesterday she asked what our baby was going to be for Halloween, and I said, we're thinking about dressing her up as a dinosaur because of the noises she makes. And not this one, she makes these other noises when she eats that are like dinosaur noises. And my niece goes, oh, that's good, Ethan really likes dinosaurs, her brother. And I was like, yes. We're basing our costume for her on what our 2-year-old nephew likes. Dinosaurs. I'm kidding. You'll probably be a princess, knowing mommy. But anyway, I thought it was pretty funny. They're so, like, I don't know, they have so much personality, you know? Which I love, of course. I'm obsessed with them. I think you know what the funny thing is? I think people think okay, yes, thank you, Ash. Okay, so you get it. We call her the tiny velociraptor when she eats, because this is going to be painful for all the moms who ever breastfed, but this is what she does when she's starting to eat. She goes like this, she goes, it's so painful. She goes, and so I call her the tiny velociraptor because, well, if you're gonna act like one, you're gonna get called one, right? At least I think so. But it is a little painful, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, but it's more than rooting. It's like, you know. But yes, the velociraptor sounds are real. So we were thinking we could dress up as characters, you know, the human characters from Jurassic Park, and she could be a velociraptor. It hurts. Yes, it does. Yes, the ouch is real. Mommy has many ouchies. We've had scabs. You might have gotten filtered, Mary. I didn't see anything else after you said that he's home. So anyway, she's aggressively claiming what's her aggressively. Yes, She only does that when she's like really awake though. Like when she's sleepy hungry, she's really nice about it, but when she's awake hungry, she's like, "Arr." I'm like, you don't have to cause me to scab. You know that, right? We could just like slide under the radar with no scabs here. You disagree? Yeah. Mommy doesn't like having scabs. It hurts, you guys. I know this is like TMI, but like, you know, most of the people here are moms or women who are willing to listen. The scabs are real. Did you guys all see my post at 3:30 this morning? The spilled milk? Lauren, prep yourself mentally for spilled milk. It's the worst moment ever. He's doing better. To help him when he gets up and walks around. Oh, good. Well, at least he can do that. Do you want to know what happened with that milk? Do you want to know what happened? How that milk spilled? I'm transferring stuff between bottles. Yeah, I know, right, Andrea? The scabs are real. I'm transferring stuff between bottles because I had to combine the bottles that were all the same temperature, because like you can't combine milks that are different temperatures. So I'm combining the ones that have already been in the fridge so that I'm not wasting a bunch of bottles, and then I can use the empty bottle for the new milk that's not, you know, whatever, yada yada. I know, broke me too, Sloth. Oh my God, can you even imagine? So I'm combining the bottles. I get the 2 bottles that are all fridge temperature combined, about to put that bottle back in the fridge, and I take the Haka that's full of the fresh milk that I just got made, yeah, and I put the Haka upside down in the bottle, and I kind of like squeeze it into the bottle so that it can drain in, which I do all the time, but usually I hold it when I do it, but I put it into the bottle, and it's upside down in it, and I turn around to go put the cold bottle back in the fridge that's now the 2 combined, and I turn around and do that. While I've turned around to do that, the bottle with the Haka in it, the Haka jumps because it's silicone, and it bounced back, knocked the whole bottle off the counter. I wasn't even near it. Oh my gosh, same, Lauren. It's true. Hormone breakouts, the worst. The Haka jumped the bottle off the counter, so it's not even like I knocked it over. She didn't even kick it over. It wasn't us. The Haka did it. And now the Haka and I are in a fight. I still have to use it, but we are in a fight for obvious reasons. Yeah. So that's what happened this morning at 3:30 in the morning. And let me tell you, spilling the milk hurts more at 3:30 in the morning than it does at like 3:30 in the afternoon. If I spill something at 3:30 in the afternoon, I'm like, oh, well, we spilled. You know what I mean? Because you're like in a good place mentally. But when it's 3:30 in the morning and you spill something, you know? If you know, you know. All right, let me get one more sip of coffee and then we'll read. Oh, I know. We ride a dog to the Haka. I know. Tell me about it. I'm mad. And granted, look, it was only like 1.5 ounces, so it's not like it was even that much milk. But 1.5 ounces takes a lot out of you these days, you know? Because she's cluster feeding, so she feeds every hour, and I'm trying to get extra milk in between those times for when I go back to work. Cruelty. The Haka is a cruel, cruel creature. A cruel creature. Hey, Roxy. All right, let's read. I know. Mommy just has to put her coffee down. Coconut oil helps with the scabs. Yeah, a lot of people have gifted me a lot of great stuff for the scabs. I miss Big Talk Baby. Mine turned 3. With your baby turned 5 on Tuesday. Okay, but Destiny, level with me. 5 is so fun, right? You had a dream that I'm having another girl? Oh, we're supposed to only have one. Don't tell secret husband that. It's currently impossible for me to be pregnant, so we're okay. 5 is such a fun age, Destiny. I nannied a lot of 5-year-olds in my time, and 5-year-olds are some of the most fun that you could ever have. I'm good, Jazzy, I'm good. Your own milk is good for it too. Yes, I do that as well. He's a big mama's boy. Oh, that's so sweet. How old are your other ones? Thank you, Jazzy. Thank you. Wait, is that monster real? Yes, this is real. Yes. Noah, I don't know if you know this about our monstera. Noah, I don't know if you know this about our monstera. This giant thing that's behind us, like its pot is on the floor. So this is a tall. I'm sitting in a pretty, good sized shit. Like it's almost as tall as I am when I'm standing. Noah, when we got this Monstera, it fit in a pot that was only this big around. We still have that pot. It's over there. It started in a pot this big, and we had to transfer it multiple times because it grows like a freaking weed, even though it's the most gorgeous thing ever. Your girl is 9 and the middle one is 7. Those are also good ages, but let me warn you, I don't know what your experience is with 10-year-olds, Destiny, but I was a nanny for a long time, and I'm going to tell you a quote from my grandfather that has remained true in my life and others. Even the rocks on the street hate a 10-year-old. It doesn't matter how nice your kid is, 10-year-olds are, you know, it's like, I know, they grow so fast. This plant is not even 2 years old. Yeah. Yeah. We got the plant in September of 2023. I did find out the hospital I work for does delayed cord clamping with each birth. That's good. Ours did as well, Lauren. It was part of our plan as well, but they kind of did it automatically also. My sister is 16 and my 9-year-old acts like she's the same age. See? I told you. Even the rocks on the street hate a 10-year-old. That was Grandpa's line. My grandpa was a big fan of babies, not a huge fan of 10-year-olds. He was a good grandpa. It's okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and read. I do love mom life. Mom life is so much better than pregnant life, you guys. Let me level with you. There are some people in my due date groups who are like, I miss being pregnant. And I'm like, why? I do not miss being pregnant. I emailed you. Great. Yes. Yes. What I can do, Lauren, if you want, is I can just link you to mine, because here's the thing, you guys. I'm actually going to tell you something that my husband said before we start reading. Everyone who we know who's gotten pregnant after us, they basically just show them the registry that I built. He shows them that. And this is what he said, which I take as like an amazing compliment from someone's partner. He basically says, yes, you want that. He basically said that everyone should use the registry I built because he, unlike a lot of the guys he knows who have had children, he's never had to run out and get anything. We've never had to order anything last minute, because I'm not saying that we got everything gifted to us. We used the registry as like our list of what to have, and we have missed nothing for her. We've not needed anything because we had all the different things. Like I had, sample sizes of 3 different types of diaper cream just in case she was allergic to one. We had different types of diapers in case she was allergic to one, all the different things. We have all the stuff she might need. Just like, and he feels like it made sliding into dadhood calm, because he never had to like run out last minute and be like, oh my gosh, we're missing XYZ, whatever it is. So we were pretty prepared. I did a lot of research ahead of time, and I asked a lot of questions of a lot of ladies here and elsewhere. So I'm happy to pass on that information to everyone to make your life easier as a new mom as well, because it's so nice. Yeah, you don't want the panic. That's exactly right, Sloth. We took the panic away by being prepared. So the only times that we ever had panics were like things that were a little more surprised. Like, our doctor actually kind of accidentally made me nervous about her bilirubin levels. It actually turned out fine, and she's perfectly fine, and she doesn't have jaundice at all. But like Liz knows this story, because I was panicked the day that we were like told to go get a blood test for her, because they did the like skin test, and her skin test came back high, but then we went and got the blood test and her blood test wasn't high, so I guess the skin test was wrong. But like, it's hard because the skin test is basically just that they touch it and they see if it stays yellow. But I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have very olive skin. And so like we were looking at her, and yes, always with the new mom kits, 100% Destiny. I'm gifting them to everyone now. Now that I've experienced it, that's all I'm going to do forever. Also, the Freedom Mom postpartum care kit, I'm going to gift that to every woman I know for the rest of my life, because it has been a lifesaver. But what I was going to say was, we were looking at her skin, and I was like, well, sometimes she does, when you press on her skin the way that they do for that test, have like a slightly yellowy olive undertone, but I don't have jaundice, and I'm slightly yellow. And guys, I'm Middle Eastern. I don't know what to tell them. You know what I mean? Like, my family comes literally from the Caucasus Mountains. Yeah, exactly, Mel. And so it's like, they were saying, oh, look, she's like got a little bit of a yellow when you press on it. I was like, yeah, but like, same. So like, you can't use a skin test on people who have different skin colors. You know what I mean? we're spicy white. It is what it is, you know? And so they scared us for nothing because they were like, oh, well, look, she's got this high level. And then her blood test was like, no, she doesn't. And I was like, no, she doesn't. They need to factor in our genetics. That's right. And sometimes, let's say someone is adopted, doesn't know who their father is, like, you know, yada, yada, all those things. Maybe you don't know what the background. Jaundice is not fun, and it's scary. It's no joke, because what I found out is if the levels are above 30, it could cause brain damage. So I'm over here, new mom, panicked. Lauren is a little bit better because Lauren works in healthcare, so she's going to have a little bit of an easier time than like panic girl over here. But like, don't panic a new mom for no reason. I'm sorry, we'll have different skin tones, right? We have different skin tones, don't we, baby girl? Yeah. You have your daddy's skin ultimately, but yeah, ours is lovely, Destiny, but she's very, very white. Our pediatrician is like, you know, brunch with a mimosa white girl, you know? It's the best way I can describe it. She's lovely. She's really talented and very lovely, but anyway, she did not... Wait, medicine in the United States is not culturally sensitive? That's so weird. Yeah, I think because I'm lighter than a lot of Middle Eastern people because, well, actually, I don't even know why I'm lighter than a lot of Middle Eastern people, because let me tell you guys, my Italian grandma was not lighter than most of Middle Eastern people because she was like Greek colored, you know what I mean? She was like a dark Southern Italian woman, spicy white, you know what I mean? So people look at me and they don't assume it. I think my HCG levels equals my scary. It was my iron. Oh my gosh. HCG levels can get scary. You know, when I got those tests, they panic you, these people. This is something that Secret Husband says to me all the time that I think is a really important thing to keep in mind. Doctors is a really important thing to keep in mind. Doctors have to look at the median, your first 3 weeks of testing. Really? 3 weeks? Oh my gosh, that would have panicked me, Roxy. I don't know how you get through that kind of thing. So doctors are always going to go for whatever's the median thing because they have to just assume like a bell curve, right? Kind of. And so, and he's right. You know what I mean? They don't mean it, but it's just always going to be middle of the road because they don't have the time nor the mental capacity. Did I cut out? Or was it just me taking, I took like a mental break for a second, Andrea. I like paused for a second. But like, they can't look at the outliers every time. They should, but like, they just don't have the time or the experience for outliers most of the time, unless they're a specialist. So he's right about that. Anyway, let's read because that's what we're here for. So today we are going to read chapter 30. Are we all back now, even though it glitched before I start reading? We're all okay? It did glitch? Okay, but we're back. Let's read while she's out like a light, you know? Oh my gosh, when they do the drop blood thing on the baby's foot, I cried. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I cried. All right, here we go. The Queen of Spades, she made a blade, all on a winter's day, a spell for sharp edges, requiring a crown of cold iron. On the 1st of September, James Juniper and her sisters are hidden in the velvet and silk halls of Salem's Sin. The air is still summer hot, but there's a brittleness to it like a whisper in the shush of falling leaves, or the burrowing of small creatures, and Juniper wants to leave, to follow that whisper all the way back to the banks of Big Sandy, but she stays shut inside the airless perfume of Salem's Sin. Oh, it's so sad, Andrea. I'm totally with you. Even Juniper doesn't dare go outside on the day of the election. Oof. See you later, Lauren, and enjoy in the sad way. Guys, it's election day in here, so let's brace ourselves because we're gonna feel it deep. I don't know any spoilers. I don't know if Gideon Hill's gonna win or not, but I feel the tears. Jenny Lind had been right. The mayor did step down the previous week. The Post printed a cartoon of a saggy, weak-chinned fellow fleeing a burning building while innocent civilians wailed from the windows, and Juniper wondered if it was an accident or accuracy that led the artist to omit the mayor's shadow and announce a special election on the 1st of September. The number of speeches and rallies and door-to-door campaigners had now tripled.
New campaign posters papered the streets. Clement Hughes for a safer Salem. James Bright for a brighter future. Vote Gideon Hill. Our light against the darkness. And every paper of record printed a double-length issue of full editorials and interviews and predictions of an elderly cat that had supposedly foreseen the results of the last 4 elections accurately. I know, seriously, Naisa, that is what I'm wondering. It's crazy. Yeah, like how is this so accurate? Like, am I crazy in that it's like, oh, it sounds very like Biden stepped down. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't step down, but he did step down from, like, possible election. Like, it's a little creepy, right? Because this was written before all that happened. It's just a little creepy. Even the news of fresh witchcraft was shoved onto the second and third pages of the paper. Juniper has felt the last week and a strange respite. The shadows seem to dog them less nimbly, as if they are distracted with some other business, and Hill's mob seems more concerned with bullying votes than with witch hunting. Even that Wiggins woman used her weekly column in the Post to advocate for Mr. Gideon Hill, the noblest man I have ever had the privilege to meet, who brought me from darkness into light. I bet he did. The sisters and the daughters have done what they could, but none of them has to cast a vote. The Colored Women's League raised money to pay poll taxes for the husbands and sons and fathers, and the New Salem Women's Association went door to door with little informative pamphlets until one of them had hot tea tossed in her face. Jeez Louise. Bella wrote a letter to the editor objecting to the medieval attitudes held by Mr. Gideon Hill and his followers, and signed it Autis. One of the Hull sisters drew a rather gruesome but effective poster of Gideon Hill tormenting a young maiden in the cells of the deeps. His cringing dog transformed into a snarling hound, and his mild expression turned into a demented howl. The maiden swooned in her chains, innocent and soft-looking. Above the words it said, "A modern inquisition. Vote against torture." "Hey, is that supposed to be me?" Juniper asked, pointing to the maiden. "Well, I took artistic liberties," Victoria allowed. "And now there's nothing to do but wait," and Juniper and her sisters sit in the comfortable, shabby back room of Salem's Sin, watching the sun fade from brass to copper to rose gold. Strix and Pan rustle in the shadows or circle near the ceiling, restless and worried. Pearl's girls rotate through an irregular interval, rarely speaking. Juniper might have been puzzled by their odd hours and various states of undress, except that Frankie Black took her aside several weeks ago and explained in plain terms what sort of establishment Salem's Sin was, wink wink, causing Juniper to snort coffee through her nose and reconsider several of her assumptions about decency, morality, and sin. But there isn't much business this evening. Most of North End's wealthiest men are stuffed into boardrooms and elegant parlors, drinking champagne and waiting for the election results to come in, just like everyone else. Juniper rises to renew the wards across the threshold and sills every so often, whispering words like prayers, and Bella sits with her notebook on her knees, not writing anything, and Agnes dozes with Eve in a puffy armchair. Eve's sleep is still troubled, her face is flushed, and her brow is wrinkled in angry furrows. "An angry woman is a smart woman," Mags used to say, and Juniper feels a great swoop of sadness that Mags will never meet her great-granddaughter. Yeah? Really? Okay. She folds her fingers around the locket on her chest, her flesh warm. She must fall asleep because she must have fallen asleep because she wakes to find the room sunk into a midnight gloom, lit by a single candle. She sits with Bella for a while, feeling their breath falling into a perfect rhythm, and knowing without looking that Agnes is breathing with them too. Together they watch the subtle creep of the shadows in the alleys outside, looking and reaching for fingers or a slightless head. Ooh. The next time Juniper wakes, it's to the tap-tap of Knuckles at the back door. The candle is a slumped puddle overspilling in its saucer, and the window is graying into morning, and Bella hurries to the door, and Miss Cleopatra Quinn steps through it. All three sisters look up at her, a silent question hanging between them. Cleo doesn't say anything. She merely looks at them, her eyes somber and tired. "Ah, fuck," Juniper whispers. Agnes shoots one of her brand new "watch your mouth, there are children around" looks. But her face is pale, and Pan alights on the arm of her chair, neck feathers bristled. "Was it close, at least?" Bella whispers. "Will there be a recount?" And Cleo slumps into an empty chair. Oh, brace yourself, guys. The Post headline this morning refers to it as a landslide, I do believe. The Defender prefers the term catastrophe. Juniper feels a delicate snap in her chest, a final thread of hope breaking, and she thinks of Hill's face, not his smiling, chinless mask, but the true face beneath it all red gums and grubbing fear. He already possesses some dark, creeping power that lurked in alleys and stole souls. What would he do with the kind of power he could wield in bright daylight? A voice swears softly in the doorway behind them. Miss Pearl stands there, clutching a silky robe tight around her throat, staring at Cleo. Juniper notices the seams at the corner of her eyes for the first time, the soft folds of flesh at her throat, and Bella settles on the couch beside Cleo. "He won't take office for a while. We've still got a little bit of time, and we can prepare." She sounds like a woman trying to reason with a rifle or a bear trap. From the corner, Strix makes a soft, sorrowing sound, and Cleo shakes her head just once. Well, in the light of the city's great need, witches running loose and murderers not apprehended, recent evidence of black magic, etc., etc., he is taking immediate control. The fair is closing early. The police force is expanding. He spoke this morning from the steps of the Capitol. She withdraws a flyer from her skirt pocket and passes it out amongst them. Bella gasps as she reads it, and Agnes sighs. Juniper swears. "To protect our beloved citizens against the ongoing scourge of witchcraft, the city of New Salem is obliged to adopt a new set of ordinances for immediate effect. Number 1, all practitioners of witchcraft, including hedge witches, street witches, fortune tellers, abortionists, midwives, suffragists, prostitutes, radicals, or any other unnatural women will be placed under immediate arrest and subject to trial by fire." I wasn't aware this was going to be a horror book. I know, seriously. I thought that this was just a witchy book. I did not know that this was a premonition of horror. Number 2. Does anyone feel like we're reading Project 2025 right now? Number 2. Any and all individuals harboring, offering aid to, sympathizing with, housing, feeding, or assisting a known practitioner of witchcraft will be subject to arrest and imprisonment of up to 90 days and a fine of no less than $100. Number 3. Any individual or establishment selling materials known to be associated with the practice of witchcraft, including but not limited to herbs, potions, spells, bones, sacrificial animals, bodily substances, chalk, candles of particular color, satanic texts, will all be subject to arrest and imprisonment of up to 7 years and seizure of all assets. Number 4. The Georgian inquisitors will be immediately reassembled and granted all former legal powers and privileges historically associated with their rank for the sole purpose of enforcing the ordinances with special priority. Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. Special priority granted to the infamous Eastwood sisters. Sounds like someone is, I don't know what you might call it, punishing political rivals. I'm not pointing at the baby, I'm pointing at the book. She's not punishing anybody except for sometimes my chest. The words trial by fire swim hideously in Juniper's vision. They can't do this. Cleo laughs, but it isn't a very good laugh. They already have done this. But it's not legal. It can't be. I wasn't even the best student, but Miss Hurston made us recite the Constitution in 2nd grade. The Constitution? What exactly do you think the Constitution is? Do you think it's a magic spell? A dragon, perhaps, that will swoop down to defend you in your most desperate hour? Cleo straightens in her seat, and Juniper doesn't think she's ever seen a face so full of scorn. I assure you, the Constitution has only ever been a piece of paper, and it has only ever applied to a very few persons. I'm going to read that line again because she was grunting, but it bears repeating. Now, hold on, honey. This is an important line. I assure you, the Constitution has ever only been a piece of paper, and it has only ever applied to a very few persons. Yeah, Ray, you walked in right at a real poignant moment. Ray, just in case you want to know, Gideon Hill just won the election and unilaterally slid into power ahead of his appropriate time. We all know how that feels. Juniper opens her mouth to argue or maybe to apologize. She doesn't know which she's going to do, but Cleo is already standing, reaching for her derby hat. I'm going to go home. I have to report to my mother and help them prepare for whatever comes. Cleo, wait. Bella reaches for her hand, but Cleo shifts slightly away. She reaches for the door, looking back at Bella with her face hard. Look, it could be worse for me and mine, 'cause it always is. That's right. Books always find us at the right time, Ray. That's right. She steps across their wards and out into the dull iron dawn. There's a brief, strained silence broken by Miss Pearl. I think you ought to leave too. She holds a list of new ordinances in her lacquered nails. The whiteness of her face makes her mouth look like a wound, red and shining, and Juniper feels her eyebrows shoot high. Excuse me? Pearl folds the page in neat quarters and tucks it down the front of her dress. Her fingers tremble very slightly. Leave. Now. It just got a lot more dangerous for us to harbor witches or whores, and I can't risk harboring both at once. Juniper and her sisters stare at her, mute and accusing. The red slash of her lips is thin. I know it's not fair or right, but I owe my girls a lot more than I owe you three, and I want you gone before noon. I know, honey. Her silk robe swishes, and she turns to leave. And take some tonic for the baby. Talk to Frankie before you go. Yes, Flor. The baby was born almost 1 month ago. She's a little over 3 weeks. Yeah. She came a little early. Yeah. She was born on the 25th of January, so she'll be 1 month very soon. Huh. Yes. That was a scene break, so it was perfect time. Agnes and her sisters have nowhere to go, so they go nowhere. The South Sybil boarding house. They move across the city with their cloaks drawn high and their faces disguised by Miss Pearl's creams and potions, walking carefully apart from one another. They pass churches with their doors thrown wide, bells clanging in celebration, men with brass badges toasting one another in the streets, and a knot of women with white sashes handing out wreaths and roses. Thank you so much, Flora. Thank you. At the bridge, they're forced to wait, standing among the cheering crowd as a procession of white horses passes. Gideon Hill himself rides in the center, looking stern and somehow noble, transformed by the glow of adulation and into more than himself and more than a man. He's now a painted icon, or maybe an angel, and Agnes hutches to disguise the baby wrapped tight against her chest, watching Gideon through her lashes. She's almost surprised by how much she hates him and how familiar that hate feels in her chest. It's bitter, it's futile hatred of the weak for the powerful, the small for the strong. They find the South Sybil boarding house half abandoned and strangely desolate. The landlady's door swings gently in the breeze, revealing a disheveled little room with no one inside it, and in the halls every other door is marked with an ashen X, whether for plague or witchcraft, they cannot tell. It's an absurd risk to return here, where Gideon and his shadows surely spied on them before, but Juniper argued that the sheer nerve of the thing would be some protection in and of itself, and neither Bella nor Agnes could think of anywhere else that they could run to. Number 7 is entirely empty, and Agnes's few possessions have been tumbled and shaken from their places as if some careless giant picked up her room and rattled it once or twice, and there's a sickly, rotten food sweetness in the air. But it otherwise looks very much like the room where the Sisters of Avalon first signed their names in Bella's book. Juniper wards the threshold and windowsills, while Bella picks at a pile of laundry and tangled sheets, trying to restore some sense of order. Well, it's only for a night or two. Bella is clearly trying heartily and bracing her tone, but landing closer to Bleak. Perhaps, maybe tomorrow, we can reach out to the sisters and we can discuss strategy. Maybe Juniper or Agnes would have answered her, but Eve coughs in her sleep and begins to wail, her fists clenched, tiny tears purling at the corner of her little eyes, as if she knows what's coming, as if she knows there is no such thing as the Sisters of Avalon any longer. Oops, what happened? What? Why did it do that? Hold on, I lost where we were at the end of a chapter, but I lost, that was what, chapter 30? Hold on, I gotta figure out where we were. We were at chapter 30, I think. What is happening? How do we get to the table of contents? Well, I guess we just got a page back. Well, that's annoying. Why did it do that? Why doesn't it let me have... It, like, took me 3 chapters ahead. It was weird. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I'll get back to where we were. I know, sweet girl. I know. It does, but it's not letting me... It took me to the table of contents, and then it, like, clicked me into a later chapter, and now I can't get back to the table of contents, oddly. Okay, I got it. Phew, that was crazy. All right, that was chapter 30, and this is chapter 31. Ooh. Ooh. Are you guys ready for this? Chapter 31 starts as such. There is a balm in Gilead to make... You're really gonna interrupt right now? This is an important moment, sweetheart. It starts with, there is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. A song to cure stubborn sickness, requiring feverfew and the Big Dipper. 3 days later, Agnes Amaranth is alone in South Sybil. No, we're not ready. You're right, Naisa. We're never ready. Not for this. We could not have... There is no part of us that could have been ready for this kind of torment. She thinks back over the summer, trying to pinpoint the moment that they should have stopped, given up, run away, perhaps after Avalon burned or after Juniper's arrest, perhaps even before all of that, as soon as they saw the shape of the tower in the sky and felt the wild wind of elsewhere on their cheeks. All she knows for certain is that they should have left before the election, and now there are inquisitors patrolling the streets every dusk and dawn, armed officers at every trolley step and train station. Now women are arrested and dragged past jeering crowds. Their dresses are torn and their throats are collared, and they're put in the deeps with the echoes of wails of caged women. Now Hill's purge has begun, and it's too late to run. It's actually not The Handmaid's Tale, if you can believe that, Floor. It's a book called The Once and Future Witches. But I tell you what, might as well be a history book as far as I'm concerned. I know. Agnes's sisters are both off doing what they can, which isn't enough, and Juniper left at dusk to hassle the patrollers of the Inquisitors, leading them on a merry chase and granting their targets time to run. She kissed Eve's cheek and strode into the hall with her black yew staff gripped tight and her jaw set. It's definitely giving ice. It's giving so much terrible. Bella, yeah, are you sure? Yeah, okay. Bella left even before that, escorted by an impassive oak-skinned woman to the tunnels to confer with Cleo and the other daughters. The papers reported that Mr. Hill was recruiting concerned citizens to help the unsettled. It's giving exactly that, yeah. Oh, are we waking up? Hi. Yeah. So now they have a militia of concerned citizens. Yeah. Okay. You want to come out? You want to lay down on my lap? Is that what you want? Would you rather do that? You can do that. Do you want to lay down on Mommy's lap? Yeah, you can. Where's Mommy's other slipper? What did Mommy do with it? Oh, it's over here. Okay. Hold on. We're going to come out. You can come out and lay on Mommy's lap. It's okay. There you go. There you go. Okay, be comfy. Yes, be comfy. Okay. This little wiggle worm. Sometimes she likes to lay on her back better. Let's see. To help the unsettled South Side, massing a small army of men and torches at the edges of New Cairo, Cleo and her mother were trying to ward what could be warded and funnel the young and old out of harm's way. If I ask Amarantina if she has any feverfew left or anything else that might... Bella didn't seem to know how to finish that sentence, but she merely cast a worried look at Eve. Agnes and her sisters had cast every spell and charm they could find to drive back the fever, to soothe her racking cough. Agnes fell asleep each night, chanting spells like prayers, stoking the bloody red of her daughter's curls, but none of it seemed to laugh. I know, she loves laying on lap time, she really does. Now their witch ways have run out. Now her daughter's every breath rattles like dead leaves across pavement, as if autumn itself slunk down her throat and burrowed in her small chest. And now Agnes curls around her body on the narrow bed, willing her skin to cool. She thinks a little sunlight might help, a little clean September air in her lungs, but she keeps the doors and windows shut tight and drawn a salt circle around their bed. A new wanted poster appears on the streets the previous day, offering a generous reward for any infant with red curls, cruelly stolen from her rightful mother. Eastwood's suspected. Juniper brought it home crumpled in her fist, so Agnes stays hidden, waiting, and sometime after dawn, Eve falls into a deep sleep. At first, Agnes is grateful after a long night of coughing and fussing, but the longer she sleeps, the less grateful Agnes becomes. Eve's arms lie limp on the quilt, chest flushed pink, tiny fists unclenched. Even the frown lines on her brow have unfolded. Agnes strokes her bare skin with one knuckle, but Eve doesn't move, and terror jolts through her spine to skull. Pan appears at her shoulder, voicing a piercing hawk's cry, and Eve's eyelids give the barest of flutters. Agnes says firmly and calmly, "No. This isn't how the story goes. She doesn't cower in the dark while her daughter dies. She doesn't lie back and let the tide of the world wave its way at her like her mother did. She stands and she paces, rustling through empty jars and turning out every pocket. A handful of thorns, black pearl seeds, a few twists of herbs curled and brittle, but it's not enough. There has to be someone in this city with the witch ways or the words that she needs, or someone who will find them for her. She thinks of the circles and the bindings, and they join hands, of Mr. August Lee who came when she called him. She fumbles in her skirt pocket for her last mockingbird feather. It's raggedy and crumpled. She pricks her palm with the hollowed point and whispers the words, "Hush, little baby, don't say a word." Heat snakes through her veins, and Agnes unlatches the window and sends the feathers into the sky along with a whispered name. Tell him to meet me. She hesitates, unwilling to say the words South Sybil out loud. I know. Oh, you did? Oh, thank you, Kayla. You know what? I haven't been to the P.O. box this week, but my mom will be going later, so I'll ask her if she got anything, and she'll be coming to visit this weekend. Thank you. That's so sweet of you. She hesitates to say the words South Sybil out loud in case some unfriendly shadow is listening in the alley. At the corner of Lamentation and 16th, she finishes instead. Agnes rubs a pale dye into her... Yeah? What else? Tell us more. Okay, what else? All good? Yeah? Okay. Agnes rubs a pale dye into her hair and ties a maiden's apron around her waist. She wraps her daughter in gray wool. Her head lolls, a thin line of white gleaming beneath the red of her lashes, and she steps across the wards and into the hall. For a long moment she stands there, warring with herself, before lifting her hand to knock at the door of number 12. A pair of blondish, round-cheeked girls answers the door, so similar that they must be twins. All their hardy Kansas aunt and cousins must be at work. They blink up at Agnes, neither one recognizing the gray-haired maid standing in the hall as their former neighbor. I need someone to watch my baby while I run to the grocer's. Please, could you just watch her for a minute? She's sick. The girls look at one another, communicating in the same silent language that Agnes once shared with her own sisters. They nod, and Agnes sets Eve in their arms with shaking hands. Better to keep her hidden away than risk someone on the street spotting a red curl. Agnes hurries up the street with her head bent and her shoulders hunched, trying to look harmless and timid and forgettable. Every now and then her gaze crosses another woman, and she sees the same desperate innocence on their faces, and it sends a shiver of fury. Oh. Excuse us. Excuse us for toots. Say, excuse me for toots. Excuse me for toots. Yeah, excuse me for baby toots. At least it's a cute toot, right? Good toot, honey. Yeah, good toot, good toot. It sends a shiver of fury through her. This is not a time of the book when we should be laughing, but maybe we should laugh a little for our own benefit. She arrives at the corner of St. Lamentation and 16th before August does. She circles the block rather than lingering and ducks her head politely at a pair of patrolling inquisitors. I know, right? That's what she said, Nagisa. He still isn't there when she returns. Fearful questions clamor in her skull. Was he detained, or was he just delayed? Is he already in the deeps, outed as a witch sympathizer? But she keeps her feet shuffling and her face slack. A flash of shadow tells her that Pan is hovering somewhere high above her, and she circles the block again. This time, August's absence is the bell tolling in her chest, a low warning. If he could have come to her, he would have. Yes, you must have balance. It was written in the tilt of his smile and the shine of his eyes when he looked at her. Had her mockingbird failed somehow? Had it gotten lost or eaten? Had her heart vanished mid-heartbeat? A breath of silence. Had her message been intercepted? Agnes feels something falling inside of her from a great height, a silent rushing. She runs. She runs as if there are wolves or shadows at her heels. Her body is jars with running. Her breast is tender. Her belly is weak, but she doesn't stop. Eve, 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 Eve. She crashes through the boarding house doors, heaving up the steps, and she doesn't bother to knock at number 12. The door bangs against the cracked plaster. Where is she? Is she safe? The blonde girls are holding one another on the floor, shivering with sobs. One of them looks up at Agnes with the shine of tears on her cheeks, one eye puffing with the promise of a bruise. They came knocking right after you left. They said, but Agnes can't hear her because she... Are you trying to lighten the mood? Are you trying to lighten the mood? She is sending Eve a message. That's right. She's saying, we're coming for you, Eve. Don't worry. Baby recognizes baby. Yeah? Yeah? How you doing? Big yawn. That was a big yawn. Everyone who's seeing these little legs kick, just imagine what it felt like when she was inside and she did this every minute of every day. Yeah. Yeah. But Agnes can't hear her because she's listening to the silence running beneath her, the terrible absence of sound she heard every second for 7 days, the dry, desperate rattle of her daughter's breath. The silence swells inside her. It presses against her ribs and pops in her ears until Agnes... You know what? There's something kind of wonderful about it, though. Yeah, excuse you, right? Big yawn. You okay? Yeah? You yawn too big? Can we read again now, or are there more toots? Are there more toots coming? I agree. Yes, it is. It's an escape from everything. Yeah, let it loose or be grumpy. That's right. It's better out than in, we always say. That's what we say. We always say better out than in. It's good to have it out. Yeah. Yeah. She's waiting. That's right. She absolutely is. You're absolutely right. She's waiting for me to start again and then... Okay. Should we go again or what? You want to hold mommy's hand? Oh, more. Okay. Is it poops or toots? She said, down with the patriarchy. I'll poop on them. That's right. Go ahead. You can toot and poop on the whole patriarchy, honey. You can. I think it might have been poops and we might need a diaper change. There's only 8 minutes left in this chapter, though, so I'm going to change her diaper and come right back because there's no point in us finishing it tomorrow. So if you guys will hold 1 second, I will return momentarily and we will finish the chapter because there's no point in not finishing the chapter. So we will go check on our diaper. We will go check on our diaper and we will be right back. Let's see what... so just hang tight, have a brief intermission, discuss amongst yourselves. Okay, we're back. We are not a sit in a dirty diaper kind of household. We know that there are those households. We don't like them. But we are not those people. We do not sit in a dirty diaper. Bless you. We're fast, huh? Your mommy and daddy are the fastest diaper changers in the West, right? The minute we know you got a dirty diaper, we change it instantly. Instantly. All right, we are comfy now. Are you comfy now, Miss Lady? Well, don't do that. Don't do funny eyes. Don't do funny eyes about it. Don't do funny eyes. Can we release this foot from its bondage? There we go. Feet. Can we show everyone your cute feetsies? What do you think? Does everyone want to see your adorable features? Okay. We're settled for a moment. We can finish this chapter. Okay. All right. 1 second. We're just going to finish this chapter. We only have a couple pages left, okay? Yeah, okay. But Agnes can't hear her because she's listening to the running beneath the... What? You already had a poop. Oh, my. You want up? You want up? You want to look at the plant while Mommy reads? You want to look at the plant? Yeah. The silence swells inside her and it presses against her ribs and pops in her ears until Agnes is nothing but pale skin wrapped around the soundless scream. Her own voice is distant, underwater, and a warble. Who came? The other girl answers this time. She's reaching an arm around her sister as she says, The Inquisitors, a pair of them, wearing those Red Cross uniforms. They knocked at the door and Clara answered and they said they were looking for a baby girl. Her eyes shift a little, uncertain. They said a witch snatched her straight from her mother's arms and ran off with her. Her arms tightened around her sister as if she thinks Agnes might snatch one of them next. Yeah. Did a witch come snatching babies? Did a witch come snatching babies? Did a witch come snatching babies? It's scary, huh? Yeah. And where? Her voice is still perfectly calm. On the very tips of her fingers, they tremble. Where did they take her? Well, we don't know, the girl said. They said if you had any questions, you could take it up with the mayor. The mayor? The girl sounds doubtful as she says it because even a little girl knows mayors don't meet with witches. But Agnes recognizes it for what it is. It's an invitation. She is a very tall girl. A trap into which she would willingly walk, open-eyed, because he has stolen her daughter away from her, and there's nothing she would not do to get her back. That's the truth. She's going to be tall like her dad. Mama's very short. I am very, very short. I am a short bean. Yeah. Are you hungry? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay. All right. We will feed you. Don't worry. Yes, yes. Everyone will wait while we get you eating. She is definitely growing in fast mode. That is for sure. You are right about that. But only her dad is tall. Her dad is the only tall one. I know. It's coming right now. But I have to turn the camera away. Nobody wants to see this except for you. I hunger, Mother. Exactly. I say that every time. Mother, I hunger. I hunger, Mother. Do you hunger? Yeah, you hunger because you got it all out in the poops? Yeah, when it all comes out, we got to put it back in, right? Yeah, okay. 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 A trap into which she would walk willingly and open-eyed because he has stolen her daughter away from her, and there's nothing she would not do to get her back. The girls clasp and clutch at one another. It's only when one of them pants, what is that Agnes becomes aware that Pan has materialized at her shoulder, talons biting through her blouse. You are a witch. You're rocking this nursing thing to Caddy 5 to life. Sometimes it does, actually, Ray. Sometimes it really does, but it totally depends on how hungry she is. Oh, 5 months. I thought you meant 5 tries. Sometimes it does take us 5 tries, but sometimes we're really hungry when we've just pooped, which I know is what everyone here wants to hear this morning about poop. But when you have a baby, you talk about poop more than you think you would. Yes, Agnes answers distantly. But you should have thought of that before you took what was mine. And then she's back on the street, stumbling over cobblestones and shoving past strangers. She's tossing the thorn and heading for St. George Square before it occurs to her, with a faraway flick of annoyance, that her sisters will follow her into this trap, that they will feel her fear through the binding and between them and come running, and then Gideon Hill will have 3, no, 4, Agnes thinks with a swallowed scream, 4 Eastwoods in his palm. Yeah. She thinks how very tiresome it is to love and be loved. She can't even risk her life properly because it no longer solely belongs to her. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Isabella. We're so glad to hear that your blood test came out good. A feathered shadow sweeps across her. Pan. What is he really? A piece of magic itself, flown through from the other side, tethered to her soul, an elsewise, otherworldly creature that doesn't particularly care what is and isn't possible. Agnes cranes her neck upward. Warn them for me, Pan. Tell them to stay away. She feels the hot spark of his eyes on hers. Please! And he shrieks back to her, a shivering, wild sound, entirely out of place in the civilized sprawl of New Salem, and Agnes runs. Bella thinks at the first roll of thunder cracking over the city, out of season, or perhaps maybe it's a distant earthquake coming, but some vast shattering thing, blind and angry, is coming, and then she realizes it is her sister's heart splitting in 2. The spell of warding dies on her lips. 3 bless and keep me, she whispers. Miss Amarantina Wells and another pair of women look over at her, harassed. Thought we working the wards together, Amarantina drawls. They're standing at the north end of Nut Street, their fingers crusted with salt, their pockets weighted with thistle and chalk. The canniest and cleverest members of the Daughters of Tituba have gathered to work what wards they can, while others ferry the youngest and oldest occupants of New Cairo into tunnels, blindfolded. Bella provided them with all the words and the ways that she could, and a list of addresses and households willing to shelter them until Hill's raid was over. Amarantina held the list, running her thumb over the names in tidy writing. Miss Florentine Lee, 201 Spinner's Row, room number 44. They can fit 3 persons. Mr. Henry Blackwell, 186 Jerome Street. He can hold 15 persons. I keep waiting for you to disappoint me, she querulously said before bustling off to gather supplies from the cellar. Well, that's more or less a declaration of love from my mother, Cleo sighs at her elbow, and now Amarantina glowers as she watches Bella. What is it? Who is it? She bites hard into the word like a woman who's used to bad news or dark portents. Well, it's Agnes, but Bella thinks it's Eve. Surely nothing else could crack her sister's heart that way, and Bella catches the worried "oh" of Cleo's mouth, but she can't seem to focus on anything except the splitting of her sister's heart. I'm sorry. I said I would stay, but I do have to go. Go, child, Amarantina tells her. We'll finish without you. Her mouth works for another second, as if there's something unpleasant caught in her teeth. And do call on the Daughters if you have need of us. She touches her breast pocket, and Bella hears the crinkle of folded paper. She wheels to Cleo and presses her hand once too hard. Meet me tonight, will you? Back at South Sybil? And if Cleo answers, it's lost in the frantic thump of her feet and the mutter of spells as Bella runs away. She follows the echo of Agnes's fury out north of New Cairo. At 2nd Street, she grabs the rail of a passing trolley and steps aboard, glaring at her with such ferocity that the conductor elects to look the other way. The city whitens around her. Police stroll past with batons swinging jauntily, and the inquisitors strut in their still fresh uniforms. None of them notices the hunched, white-haired woman clinging to the trolley as it jangles past, or the flittering shadow of the owl wings above them. Bella sees the dome of the city hall ahead and tastes the sour bite of fear in her throat. Why would Agnes be in the square? Why would she leave the safety of their circled wards? She hops down from the trolley and stumbles against the plain-looking woman pushing a frilly pram and limping on every other step. It's only after the woman hisses in her ear, "Saints, Belle, you look older than Mags," She realizes then that the pram is empty. June, did you feel it? I know, baby toes are so cute. Do you know what's happening? Juniper's face is blotched and pale beneath her disguise. I don't know, something bad. She's running this way, it seems like, but Lord only knows why. A bird swoops suddenly between them, and a ragged snatch of midnight. Bella lifts her arm and feels the bite of talons there before she realizes that the bird does not belong to her. Pan? She asks. What are you doing here? Where's Agnes? Someone will see you. He ignores her, eyes red and reproachful. He opens his beak, and a human voice echoes out of it. Stay away, please stay away. The voice belongs, quite unmistakably and impossibly, to their sister. Pan closes his beak and vanishes in a swirl of ash and smoke, leaving the two of them surrounded by mutters and staring eyes, and Bella wipes a smudge of char from her spectacles. I didn't know they could do that. Voices and running steps rise all around them, and Juniper grabs her sleeve and hauls her sister into the alleyway. What are we gonna do? Bella snorts, half hysterical. Didn't you listen to any of the witch tales? And Juniper marches onward, whispering words and spitting over her shoulder. It hisses on the cobblestone and rises like steam behind them, obscuring their escape. Yeah, well, in the stories, it's generally best that you do whatever the hell you can if an animal tells you should. I also didn't know they could do that. Well, that is certainly something. So overall, these chapters were bad, not good. I'd like to say I think everything's going to be okay, but considering the state of things in our own world, I'm just not sure. Eve has been kidnapped. The girls are in danger. Gideon Hill won the election. I did have the baby. She's almost 1 month old. She'll be 1 month on the 25th. Huh. Just 5 days. Yeah. Yeah, just 5 days. Hungry hippo. Yeah. All right, well, as usual, we will read more tomorrow, but needless to say, these chapters were scary, you guys. I hope it will be an example of redemption. I hope that we're heading towards redemption. I know that the next 3 3/4 years, yes, I'm counting down the moments, will be very long, but we have to make it through them. That's the thing, right? Because if people like us don't make it through them, then people like this little one and like Jen's bonus kiddo will be left alone, and we can't do that. What did she weigh? She only weighed 6 pounds and 3 ounces when she was born, but she's gained a lot since then. She's growing very well. Huh? You're growing very well, huh? Hi, pretty girl. Look at your beautiful blue eyes. Yeah. Yeah. I know. We're hungry. We're so hungry. A hunger mother. All right, friends. Well, the good news is your baby was 2 pounds 9 ounces. Oh my gosh, teeny tiny little nugget. How early was your baby? What I was going to tell you all is if you aren't on Patreon and you didn't see the updates, I did start doing a little bit of work yesterday. I got through a lot of emails and DMs yesterday, like literally 50 of them out of 70. So that's good. I'm slowly getting back into it. I'm going to start making bases this weekend 12 weeks early. Oh my gosh. Autumn was 6 months, 2 ounces. It's almost exactly the same. Our baby was almost 3 weeks early, so she wasn't quite that early. She was a little early though. But you know, she's getting bigger. It's funny because even now when she's almost a month old, she's still smaller than all her cousins were when they were born. All of them, if that, couldn't believe that. Yeah, you're smaller than all your cousins were, all 7 of them. Or 8 of them. I think you have 8 cousins total. Did you get the email about the book I sent you? I'm not sure. I'll have to look. I was due February 14th and she was born November 25th. Oh my gosh. We were due February 12th and she was born the 25th. Yeah. I'll have to look again, Mary. I haven't gotten through all my emails. I am trying, but it's hard because she calls me to eat quite often. But I will get through more today. We'll make base this weekend. Slimes will start going out the beginning of March. We're getting back into it, guys. We are getting back into it. Slowly but surely. Yeah. Yeah, slowly but surely. Are you going to see grandparents today?
Yes. All right, so I will see you all tomorrow morning. If you're waiting on an email from me, I'm going to go through more of those today and more tomorrow and so on and so forth. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I cannot promise a huge amount today because my in-laws are coming, but I will do my best. See you guys later.